Hello, welcome back to IT Lundy Nugget courses. PKI session 4. We will basically this time we will cover what is required around PKI decision architecture, and this time is certificate roaming. Yeah, computer certificate are issued to and then stored in a local store on the PC. User certificate, however, are associating with and need to be made available to user whenever they need them. If a user uses the same computer every day, then this is not a problem, as the certificate will be stored locally. However, if the user uses different machine, then the certificate need to follow the user. Availability of the certificate is particularly relevant to encryption certificate, as a user will not be able to decrypt information without the certificate. The mechanism available to achieve this functionality, known as certificate roaming, are as follow. We need the hardware storage, like smart card, manual export and import, such as off disk, move, roaming profile, traditionally used for other activities and functionalities, and credential roaming is roaming the profile, and but only roam the certificate and other credential information. Table, example of workstation, user signing certificate, encryption certificate. Do you need to roam the workstation? Yes, no, applicable, not applicable, smart card. Take away from here basically. These are the key decisions you need to make when it comes to your design. Are you using Citrix, VMware, virtual machine, physical machine, laptop? Some users might have different scenarios. All of these you need to populate it basically, and then you decide based on that. Bearing in mind, you need to make sure the load, traffic, all of these activity, the impact on the system by doing all of these decisions. And the last part for our system architecture is the key archiving or key archival. Loss of corrupted certificate can be equal to inaccessible of data. To mitigate the risk, private key archiving can be enabled in all certificates. Key archiving does not directly recover any data or messages, but it enables the user to retrieve lost or damaged keys, or administrator to assume the role of a user for data access. The entity are known as Key Recovery Agent, KRA or ACE. Yeah, more than one agent. Private key or keys that are used for signing should never be archived or recovered, because doing so introduce non-repudiation issues. In 2016 server, the archival is enabled by default at all the CA level and then configured for the specific certificate template which required for recovery. Basically separate, segregate. In these cases, the user provide a copy of the private key as a part of the certificate request that's stored unencrypted under the CA database. Similar to the previous ones, table, smart card, number of, you know, KRAs or agents, yeah, certificate template, and then you can basically create it. This is part of the design itself. Hopefully, we covered all the, you know, architecture design. Next, we're going to move on to the physical design. So we covered all of the scenarios, templates, whatever you need. Physical, it's really crucial. Let's cover this topic quickly as well. What we need: hardware, location, server name, platform, CPU, RAM, disk, all this user stuff. Table, create them again. Which one is physical? Which one is virtual? Look at the table we put there. For the root CA, we said offline. Remember that one. It can be one dual core, 4 GP RAM. It's an offline, and 1 GP NIC. Disk read one, yeah, HA, making sure it's available. And then the issuing CA, it can be virtual, 2 CPUs, 8 GP. It can be read if you want to. If you remember, we said like we need to more than one. So take care of that one. And similar to the previous one, yeah, 1 GP network card. These are minimal requirements, bearing in mind availability. There are three main availability consideration when it comes to PKI design. general availability, certificate issue availability, and revocation information availability. In my opinion, all are important, but the middle one, the certificate issue, is the crucial one. Yeah. Availability general. Physical server need to be fault tolerant in relation to disk, like using the right technology, and backup and test as well. Yeah. Virtual server can rely on the platform like VMware or Hyper-V to do the fault tolerance, or it could be sitting in Azure or wherever you want to put them. Yeah. Within the virtualization platform, it will be possible to insert a new server instance with the same virtual hardware configuration within a suitable time frame or replace an existing one. All the CA will be regularly backup to ensure there's a recovered method, and you need to test the recovery as well. And the backup need to be tested every 3 months at least. Yeah. These measures, along with the proactive, enterprise class surface and hardware and monitoring and SLA, will give you some assurance. And again, it's your call how often, but these are the minimum requirements. The certificate issues or issue related to issuance of the certificate. The PKI solution also need to be able to ensure that any certificate enrollment request can be surfaced at any time, such as requests do not fail and subsequently requiring manual intervening. To achieve this, we need to have at least 2 CAs, and you can have as much as you wish, but at least 2 to give you that resiliency. And the last part is the revocation information. PKI need to be able to ensure the availability of the valid revocation information in timely manner. Failing to do so will result in losing of the service. Revocation availability depends on 2 aspects. First, the availability of the CA server to be able to publish their CRL and the CDPs. Second part is the availability of the CDP themselves, the distribution points. The availability of the CA server to be able to publish their CRLs rely on the design of the CRL publication and the overlap period. Yeah, remember that I mentioned that in the earlier sessions. If you cannot recall this, go and visit the table and then specify what table needed information for the overlap period and the scope SLA for the hardware and software recovery. Also, the availability of the CDPs themselves would rely on the AD resiliency or Active Directory. So if it's like a ladder, yeah, in this case like LDAP, CDPs, or multiple redundancy path, or UNC, or HTTP, yeah, see which one works for you. Right, that's all what I have for you for today. Let's we catch up next and we do the management. So far we did the physical and the architecture. Thank you for watching and goodbye.